Hey guys, I hope that this week has been cool for you. Even though, in terms of weather, no way has it been cool. It's been triple digit. So, this week we have our very first peer review workshop. And just like hopefully you saw a lot in 1A, a very important part of the writing process is the peer review workshop. And we're going to have a peer review for every one of our 4 papers. So, this is the first one. And if you'll see that from syllabus here, that's what we have for this week. Actually, this should be Wednesday. Don't worry, guys. I will upload the correct syllabus. Okay. So let's get into the nuts and bolts here. This is us. And we are module 4. All right. So go ahead and publish it. So this is how it's going to work. You have started your pandemic essay brainstorm, and you've submitted that, and I look forward to seeing it. And a huge tip is to actually use your brainstorm as a foundational springboard to go off of as you begin your rough draft here. Remember, there's no such thing as a perfect draft. In no way, shape, or form is it going to be perfect. In fact, there's no such thing as a perfect first draft. Just do your best, get out your ideas, as disjointed as they may be. Just get it out and do your best. And I'm asking that you please write at least 2 pages for the rough draft. And that is by this Wednesday, by 59 p.m. And you're going to submit it into here, okay? This is the link for that. You're going to submit your rough draft. Listen to this, okay? After that, you will get drafts from 3 of your classmates, and Canvas will assign it to you automatically. I've set it to be that way. Now, please listen. You will only get drafts only if you submit a draft yourself, okay? So you will not get any drafts unless you submit a draft yourself. And the points are going to be 5 points for submitting a draft and 5 points for each of the classmates' drafts that you leave feedback on. So 5 for submitting your draft, 5 for student 1 feedback, student 2, and student 3, okay? 5, 5, 5, 5. And then the feedback, you're going to do that by Sunday by 59 p.m. So the way it's going to work is exactly 1 minute after this deadline, which is going to be September 10, 12 a.m., right then, the Canvas system is going to send you 3 drafts to look at, okay? You'll see it, and you'll see like peer reviews or something like that. And yeah, so here's some workshop questions to consider. So I actually recommend that you leave this part open with the questions to consider, and open another page with the Chafee Canvas, and yeah, so I want to show you the how to actually go about leaving the comments on the draft here. But it looks like for our class, nobody has turned in the rough draft yet. So what I'm going to do, I will be using one of my English 1As, because one student has turned in a draft in the 1A class. So I just want to show you that. They're doing a different paper. Here we go. So, okay, actually, let me delete, because this was a demo I was doing for the other class too. Let me delete this. I could just show you for this page here. Okay, so check this out. Let's say this was the draft that Canvas assigned me. Let's go over the tools. This is to actually maximize it, okay? Now, mind you, I have not looked at the rough draft itself, so in no way, shape, or form am I leaving any feedback yet as to the content. The sole purpose of this portion of the video is to explain the logistics of how to use the tools that we have allotted to us, okay, here through Canvas. So, number 1, this is obviously just a cursor, you know. This one that looks like a bubble, it allows you to select any place and leave feedback. Yes, this is such an important thing to consider, something like that. Okay, so that one is anywhere you click, you can leave a marginal comment. This one, what does it look like? It's a highlighter, right? So anywhere that you want to highlight, you just go to the highlighter and highlight it. You could choose your colors up here. Let's say you want to do blue. And again, you can leave marginal notes. Maybe consider blah, 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 blah. This T is just to create a text box. I'll show you what the text box looks like. Hooray or something. So essentially the difference between the text box and any of these other ones is that the text box allows you to directly write upon the draft itself, as opposed to only the margins, right? This one is for the margins, and same thing with the highlighter here. It's for the margins. This one that looks like an S is to cross out. So let's pretend this is maybe redundant or an extraneous sentence. So you want to cross it out. So you go to that S, and you go there, and again you can choose any color that you want. Red's kind of scary, huh? But let's say we want purple. It'd be like, this is an extraneous sentence. Blah, 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 I don't know. So yeah, and this one here is the brush. It allows you to literally draw. It's like a ghost face. Okay, this is if you want to make a box. Let's say you want to like box this section or something, and yeah, that's it for the tools itself. So I want you to do here. Let's get out of this here so you can see my face again. I want you to do two things. Number one, obviously mark up the document, okay? And listen, I will know that you actually did the markup because your name appears. So in a real life class setting, you know, we don't just go to the classmate and say, here, it was good, and then walk away. No, we sit down with the classmate and we talk about their comments. We talk about the things that we saw. We talk about how it is that things came across to us as a reader, and then talk about, you know, what it is that they intended. Just talk about our notes, what we saw. Okay, so how that translates to our peer review workshop here is, number one, you could just be like this: Rodrigo, this is a good start, blah blah blah. You can type it, or you can do my favorite. This is just to attach, like if you had like a Word file with other documents or something. But this is my favorite. It's easy to remember because it looks like the YouTube icon, right? So it's for media. You click it there. So this is for a video comment. You just go to start recording. You'd be like, hey, Rodrigo, this was a cool start, such and such and such. Some areas that I saw that perhaps you could bolster, or this, that, and the third. Okay. If you don't want video, you can go to webcam and you go to no video, and you can just leave an audio message here. Okay. So you do have to do both things. All right. Number one is mark up their draft, and number two, leave them a comment there. All right, so this is the 1A. This is for us. So check out the workshop questions to consider. So as you're looking at these drafts, these are some things that I want you to have in mind as you're looking at this. Okay. Remember, this was about the gains and losses of the pandemic, how our lives have changed, and again, have these questions open as you're looking at these drafts. Okay, so highlight your classmate's thesis. Remember, in this case, this paper, the thesis is going to be the answer to the central question, right? Which is number 2. Does it explicitly answer the prompt central question, which is, how has your life changed as a result of this pandemic? So make sure that's in there. Make sure it's explicit. Take a look at their intro paragraph. Does it clearly introduce the topic, the pandemic in this case, before answering how it has changed their life? Do they address gains and losses? Any suggestions for the intro? Now the body paragraphs, remember, it's cool because like literally the intro and the thesis is the skeleton, right? It's the main points that you're setting out for yourself. Yeah. So it's the skeleton. The body paragraph, it's called body because it adds corpulence. It fleshes out these main points, which is the skeleton. It adds body to it, literally. Do their body paragraphs work to further flesh out their thesis? Remember, every body paragraph has to have the objective of fleshing out the thesis, right, which is their answer to the central question of this paper. If you see any tangents, let your classmate know how they can rein the attention back to where it needs to be. Does your classmates... Oh, transitions. That's a big one. So... you don't just want it to sound like a very caffeinated person. It's like jumping like from one topic and all of a sudden like flying to the next without bridging it. So remember, for transitions, rather than just, flying from one topic to the next, no, you find a point of commonality between what the aspect of the topic is that you're talking about and the next thing, okay? So use that point of commonality to bridge into it. As you'll recall, I think we did it for this class, where we did the whole video games. We were talking about the popularity of video games in a more general sense. And then so that was our claim. And then the warrant, was we were backing up with saying, hey, look, it's so popular that millions of people watch people play video games online. Then all of a sudden, out of left field, it was Fortnite. And the task was to find a point of commonality so as to bridge those two aspects of the topics of video games and their popularity, right? That was just an example. So watch out for the transitions. Make sure that they're using points of commonality to literally bridge a topic or aspect of the topic to the next. You don't just want to be jumping around. So let your classmate know if you see some of that and offer some suggestions where needed. So even though this is not a research paper per se, but absolutely, there are places where bringing in outside sources would be helpful. If you see some of those areas, then let your classmate know, okay? Like where would be a good area to bring out some outside sources. And if you have suggestions, then by all means, bring them up. Obviously, if you are using outside sources, are they using a correct MLA in-text citations? If they have a works cited page? And then take a look at the rubric on the prompt. How's the draft looking with the rubric in mind? What areas of the draft are strong? What areas still need some work? And anything else? So that's that, guys. So you have until Wednesday to submit the draft. And then 1 minute after, Thursday, September 10 at 12 a.m., the Canvas system will send you 3 drafts to look at. Make sure to do all that by Sunday. And that's it. That's our first workshop. And that's what we have for this week's module. Other than that, guys, I wish you an awesome week. And keep working hard. And stay on the course and keep pushing.